see the teams are already out on the ice for this World Ice Hockey Championship game between the Soviet Union and Canada. We're expecting a good one here. The two top teams are facing off here. Michael Vernon will go between the pipes. Alexei Maryin for the Soviet Union at the other end of the rink. The Canadians will play from right to left, and this is a Group A championship game. They're fighting it out now to see who goes into the top four of the table, and then they will play off on the second half of this tournament for the medals. So, not an empty seat in the house here in Turku. This is the one a lot of them have been waiting for, Richard, and what can we expect?
Can expect both teams to come out quickly. Both teams undefeated coming into this game. It's a very crucial one as far as the standings go.
Gusarov takes a bit of a dump along the boards as Larmer tips it in. Bykov picks it up for the Soviet Union, bangs it off the plexi. That goes back to Lidster. He gets the tap in, and offside is called. And the Canadians look very relaxed indeed. They know what they have to do against the Soviets, but the trick is pulling it off on the ice. The Soviets are so powerful. They have 4 wins in 4 starts. They beat the USA 12-2, Finland 3-0, Germany 7-3, and the Swiss 3-1. And the Canadians beat the Americans 4-3, the Finns 5-3, the Germans 3-2, and the Swiss 3-0. But now they're playing against teams from the top of the table. The shot, Vernon got a piece of that. The Canadians now breaking hard. Thomas shot it in over the blue, and we have another face-off. 26-year-old Alexei Maryin, who plays for Spartak Moscow, is the goaltender. And Dave King will be the coach for Canada, as he has been for some time now.
Dave King knows that these guys all have experience. They've all been around. They are well aware of the Russians scoring 25 goals in their first 4 games, but they're not going to hold back on their own offense.
Kravchuk, the long pass into the neutral zone, looking for Nemchinov. He goes after it, getting there first is Yanni. A little pass up to Running, flips that in, looking for a nice one there for Courtnall on the backhand side. And Maryin makes the save, no one there to pick up the rebound. Nemchinov to 19. Lomachin. That's in the net! Well, how did that go in? Vernon is looking around in total amazement. Let's see this again.
You can see that the crowd is very mesmerized by this. It's a shot that goes off Trent Yanni's stick, still going toward the goal. It appears to hit another stick. There you see the shot coming. It's off one stick. The deflection goes one way. Mike Vernon goes the other way. Not much he can do about it. It's a goal for Lomachin no matter what. 1-0 for the Russians.
Lomachin then will want to see that on the replay to see how he did it himself. He just won't believe his luck, but every time it goes over that red line, it counts. So the Soviets draw first blood here in the first period. This is live on Eurosport. Sakic got that in. Konstantinov, the tireless workhorse for the Soviets, tipped it into the corner, and that comes out to Makarov. Makarov back from the Calgary Flames to bring it over the blue. Makarov taps it forward. The shot is right there. Byakin got a piece of that, but just couldn't put it by Vernon. The Canadians looking still very relaxed, sometimes a bit too slow to react as Bozak gets that in.
Great play from Makarov. Unbelievable pass work that this man can throw around. He's definitely one to watch.
Konstantinov, the long shot, takes a deflection. McCowan getting in front of that, now gets the return pass. McCowan tips that forward. The 2-line pass is indicated there by the linesman. And we'll have a face-off in Canadian territory. The Soviet coach, Viktor Tikhonov. And there's a familiar name in Russian circles, Valery Kamensky. For my money, one of the best players on the team, 25 years old, plays for CSKA Moscow. And the guy is a mountain of a man who has a rocket of a shot. Buczayev kicked that over. The Canadians shoot it into the zone. Craven will go after it. Nemchinov chops. The Canadians keep it in. McCowan tapping it in to the far side in the Soviets with the long pass out to Nemchinov. Nemchinov there working with Buczayev. Stopped by McCowan. The clearance isn't out. Eventually Smith taps it. And the Canadians with the pass coming right in. Number 12 takes a shot. That's Archibald. And he missed the target. Had a golden opportunity as he broke in on goal. Nemchinov being shadowed there nicely by McCowan. A good little poke check. Tried to get it up to Craven, but Ilya Byakin picks it up for the Soviets. Pushed into Canadian territory. The shot. Vernon, a little edgy on that one. He's going to need a couple of good saves to bring him back into this game. On to the left wing. The Canadians shoot it in. Kosatov with the Canadians getting a change on the fly.
The Canadians are going to have to play the body more around their own blue line. The Russians are so clever with the puck, they can't allow them the space to skate.
Stephen Larmer, the pass coming right in front now is number 19, Sakic. He couldn't get the return pass, which came from Thomas. The long pass into the neutral zone. Coming down, Kamensky right in front. The puck is eventually tipped into the goaltender by Schlegel. Vernon way out of his cage. The puck was just lying there, crying out to be batted into the open net.
I'm not sure as though Mike Vernon has settled into this game yet. He's certainly having his share of chances coming at him. Kamensky looked like a two-line pass, very close. Almost manages to put the puck around Vernon, who does well to recover.
Well, we were just talking about how dangerous this guy Kamensky can be, and look at that. Inches away as that hit the side of the netting. Conroy, Chicago Blackhawks star, lost control of that. Oh, and that's right across into Kamensky's stick. Pavel Buda setting him up, and Kamensky in the early stages of this first period has been deadly. Watch this again.
Here comes a kid, Pavel Bura, so much talent. Kamensky doesn't miss chances like this very often. There he is coming from the backhand, lovely pass, it's a wide open net. You can see Kamensky shake his head, not believing he'd missed it himself. He'll see that one in his sleep.
Semак will do the honors for the Soviet Union. The Canadians with Cliff Roning in the face-off circle. So Canada not putting in one of their best first periods so far. Lomachin getting it over to Semак. Tipped away by Conroy, and the Canadians back on the attack with Courtnall and Roning. Roning flips it to the far side to Linden. Linden taken out of the play by Lomachin, and that's given off to Nemchinov. You can see the way the Soviets use the complete ice surface here. They really do fire it around from pillar to post. Linden slows things down. He's got Conroy on the wing. Linden over the blue on the backhand side, being shadowed there by Kravchuk. Kravchuk takes him out of the play. Roning can't get the loose puck, and the Soviets now. Semак all on his own, waiting for support. Three Canadians back. At the last moment, that was tipped away into the neutral zone. Kozlov, number 9, gets the return pass. Kozlov over the blue. Kozlov now on the left wing. That's tipped up into the air and is grabbed by Vernon. That'll make him feel better. And the Canadians back on the attack. Little Theron Fleury is squeezed out of the plate. Larmer had that poke checked off his stick. And the Canadians have problems, as that is icing. Canadians have problems stringing more than two passes together here in the first period. Well, the results so far today: USA 4-2 over Switzerland, the Swedes 2-1 over the Czechs, and the Germans and the Finns still to play later on today. So a good result for USA and a good result for Sweden. They're still very much in contention for that fourth spot.
Good result for the Americans, bad result for the Czechs. They're really struggling. They're going to have a lot of work to do to even attempt to get into the top four.
The Canadians, the shot right on goal, the rebound is there. Marьin got a piece of that. Fleury helping out the D. The break now is on by Koslow. Makarov being pressed into the corner. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Tripping is the call. Mякеля makes no mistake on that.
Good look at Fleury being taken out of the play. The young kid, Kozlov, number 9, gets a skate around his leg, kicks his skates out from under him. Young kid, 18 years old, wearing that full face mask. Got a promising future. Coach Tikhonov having a look. He's well impressed with this kid's ability, and I'm sure he'll see a lot of action, but going to have to calm himself down a bit, a little bit too aggressive on Theo Fleury.
So the Canadians with the man advantage as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the first period.
In 4 games, the Canadians are yet to impress with their power play. They've only scored 1 goal on the power play so far. They'll be looking to improve that.
The long pass up on the wing. Sakic getting it forward, 23. Thomas is there, back to Yanni. Yanni to the far side. The return pass goes off his skate. Fleury tried to set something up way back at the blue. Fleury now gets up ahead of speed. Oh, a nice little move, but he forgot to take the puck with him. Konstantinov knew what he had to do, played the body, and forgot completely about the puck, and that's what you do on that one-on-one situation as Yanni brings it back for Canada. Lidster slowly over the red, now to the blue. Lidster shoots it all the way around. Not too many Canadians there to help out. Racine pumps that back into the corner. Larmer. Thomas and Larmer. That comes out, and the Soviets shoot it down with Zelapukin getting a piece of it. The Canadians getting a quick change, and really Canada has to pick it up a gear with 50 seconds now on the Soviet penalty. Lidster taps that forward. Coming in, Courtnall right in front. The tip is there. Linden got the tip, but Marьин was equal to it. Lidster got the pass over. Racine flips it into the hash marks. The Canadians now with the Soviets setting up the box, running. Racine, Lidster wants it on the far side, but Courtnall decides to hang on to it and put it behind the goal. Ronning is there. Ronning might try the wraparound, works to the side of the net, gets it back to Racine. Lidster winds up, takes the shot, misses the net. Courtnall takes the shot at that, and he misses the far post, and Racine bats it as far as the hash marks, and the Soviets will have killed off this penalty.
Good spurt by the Canadians. Not getting much penetration in front of the goal, but a couple of good opportunities. They're moving the puck around better.
Kozlov steps back on the ice as the Canadians are called for offside.
Trevor Linden coming over the blue line, unaware that his winger had gone down and was unable to get back.
Well, we're going to take a short break. Come back with us when we rejoin the first period. We'll be back. Welcome back. We're still live in the first period. The Soviet Union lead this one over Canada 1-0. Lomachin scored that goal in the early stages of the period. A shot from the slot area that went off a skate and deflected into the top corner over Mike Vernon. And that's how it stands right now with a face-off in Canadian territory after Mike Vernon made that save. This is the Group A World Ice Hockey Championships coming to you from Turku, Finland. And the Soviets looking very, very strong here in the first period. Smith along the boards with Craven. Gusarov goes deep for the Soviets. A nice little touch along to the hash marks. And to the far side to Fetisov. Fetisov, who spends his time with the New Jersey Devils when he's not playing for the Soviet national side, is out there once again.
Canadians lucky here. Watch Pavel Bure gets the pass here. He's off and running. He's going to be gone for a breakaway if the man can stay on sides, because both Canadian defensemen were turning the other way. He would have been gone. The Russians, definitely a skating machine. Very hard team to skate with for 3 periods.
Backhanded into the Canadian zone, and Schlegel picks it up. The Canadians now with Yanni tapping it into the corner. And again, we have a whistle on the play. And the fans here in Turku waiting for something to happen here. They're expecting a lot from both teams, and they want the fireworks, and they want them now.
Canadians seem a bit sluggish so far. They're going to have to open up a little bit here.
9 minutes gone now in the first period. Trent Yanni, a long pass. Looking for the return pass now, up on the wing, the shot right on goal. And that came from Courtnall. Missed the goal. Semак comes back on the attack. Semak, a 2-on-1 break. And that took a deflection off Schlegel. Almost went into the open corner. Semak goes in to pick it up. He's got Lomackin there. Lomackin tries to tip it in front of Schlegel, and that doesn't come off. Fleury picks it up. Coming back on the wing. A long pass intended for Courtnall. He picks it up in the corner and puts it to the far side. Mironov gets it forward. And the Canadians and the Soviets both taking their chances well here in the first period.
Some good work from Fleury at one end. Very quickly, the Russians came back and had a chance of their own.
The long shot takes a deflection and ends up a souvenir. And personally, I'd rather buy one in the shop than get it on the chin coming at 100 miles an hour. The Canadians look like this. Vernon and Billington are the goaltenders. Lidster, Conroy, Natras. Watch for these guys. Schlegel's played a lot on the Canadian national team. McCowan and Bozek and Yanni, of course, all experienced campaigners, and they can put the puck in the net too from the blue.
Canadians are solid defensively.
We're going to look at the forwards in just a moment as we take a look now at Makarov, and he's taken out by that solid defensive line for the Canadians. But the Soviets pick it up again. Kostlov got it back now. The shot, and that's in the net! Zhamnov took what looked to be a simple shot, and that beat the goaltender.
You can't say enough about Makarov. Head is always up. He moves the puck so well. Watch the move to the outside, lays it back into the slot. 26. Zhamnov is right there, quickly gets the wrist shot off. It's into the goal.
2-0 the score. The Soviets in the lead with Zhamnov picking that one up from close in. And back on the attack again, the Soviets with this pressure that seems to be non-stop here in the first period.
My estimation, the Soviets are just cruising right now.
The puck along the boards. Konstantinov, that familiar figure, wearing number 16, kicked that away, but it eventually had to be cleared all the way down the ice. Vernon to the far side, and the Canadians now, trailing by 2, have Lidster shoot it in. The Soviets looking so calm out there. Konstantinov lost control of that, and the Canadians, 23 is Thomas, losing that along the hash marks. The long pass up to the left wing. Vernon lets that go. Nemchinov takes a tap at that, is taken out of the play by McCowan. The Soviets double team it in the corner, and that takes a bounce to McCowan, and he gets it out, looking for the return pass. McCowan on the backhand side is brought down by Byakin, and that's tipped away from Ronning. Nemchinov slams on the brakes, dodges a hit. Poke check there by Ronning. Natras squeezed out of the play along the boards, and the Soviets are forechecking like there's no tomorrow. The forwards, well, we've talked about Fleury. Thomas was the man of the match last time out. Larmer from Chicago. Craven has been around a while. Bozek, they all can put the puck into that, but right now they're not skating.
The Canadians have come out flat. Ronning, of course, he's a guy that can get them going. Dave Archibald's a very clever center who can move the puck. They're going to have to get things into gear, though. The Canadians are looking very flat. The Russians seem to be cruising around the ice at about half speed. Their passing is really to the max right now. They're really moving the puck around nicely.
Precision passing is what they're getting away with. They're finding the spaces. Fetisov into his own zone. The long pass to Gusarov. Into the neutral zone now. Moves Nemchinov, or Kamensky rather. Kamensky, the wrist shot. Vernon makes the save. The rebound is there. Yanni's all over his man, and the Canadians get it as far as the neutral zone. Fetisov taps that forward. The Canadians under pressure with Pavel Buре. Buре tips that back and then goes after his own pass. 20 years old for CSKA Moscow. The guy's got all the talent in the world. Racine puts it by him. The return pass now. The Canadians with the long pass up on the wing. Kurt takes the shot. Slightly deflected there by Marьin. That's left for Kamensky, and he's spun out of the play by Ronning. And there's going to be a penalty on the play. Ronning will protest.
Mykhailov being very assertive with this call. Ronning gets the stick in. Kamensky goes for a spill. Ronning's hands come up as if to say, I didn't do that. Mykhailov doesn't see it that way. 2 minutes for hooking. Soviets with another opportunity to increase the lead. They've got the power play. They've scored 7 power play goals in 4 games.
Well, it's tough enough playing against the Soviets when you've got a full complement of players, but when you're down 1, it's even more difficult.
Coach Tikhonov never seems pleased. He's always looking for ways to improve his team, improve each player. He wants a better result every game, every period.
Coming into this game, the Canadians had a goals against average of 2 goals per game, and the Soviets 1.5. So the Soviets conceding less goals in their first 4 outings. Semak, a nice little pass to the far side. The shot right on Vernon. Vernon bobbling that and then coming up with a save, and I really don't think he's ready for this one. You know, there are times when you step on the ice and you know it's just not going to be your day, no matter who you are, how good your records read from the past. And that could be, maybe I'm being a bit hard on Mike Vernon, but that could be the case right now. And it's a tough decision for a coach to pull a goaltender this early on, but it might be the wise thing. The Canadians with a man in the box for another minute and a half. McCowan lost control of that. Vernon tips it into the corner. Semak. As the Canadians set up the box, Fleury out there moving with it. You can see the Canadians really don't want to break down this box if they can help it. Lomachin. McCowan shadows him as Lomachin gets the return pass. Not a shot on goal yet as we have less than a minute. That goes the far side, the one-timer. Wide of the target, Lomachin picks it up. He's got a lot of time to take the shot, but elects to put it behind the goal. That bounces off the Canadian, and that comes to the side of the net. It's right there, picked up by Bozak, and the Canadians break now. 40 seconds on the penalty. Bozak shoots it in, decides not to pass it to Fleury. Kravchuk picks it up and tries to work his way out. Well, we have some problems here with the pictures, but stay with us. Semak picks it up now in the neutral zone and gets it to the far side. Just a slight hiccup, but we're coming live from Turku. Yanni. Larmer, a long shot. Marьin steers that into the corner. The Canadians happy to hold that against the boards, but Makarov wants to do other things with it. The Soviets were bringing that out of the zone, and the whistle blew for an interference call, and Konstantinov, number 16, makes no hesitation at all, makes no gesture to the referee, goes straight to the box.
Vladimir Konstantinov just trying to pick his man out. The Russians were weaving back and forth, leaving the puck for one another. Kozlov in the corner leaves the puck. You can see Konstantinov come into the picture to take the Canadian out. Mякеля right on the call, interference.
So the Canadians now are back to full strength, and the power play shifts the other way as Trent Yanni fires that all the way in. Going after it is Linden rather. The Canadians right out front. Yanni couldn't get a handle on that one. He was knocked to the ice, and that goes all the way down the ice as Courtnall goes back with Fleury. Fleury now for Canada. A long shot right to the doorstep of Marьin, and Linden starts to mix it up right in front of the goal. Nothing too serious as they exchange dirty looks. The face-off will be to the far side of the ice, and Ronning will get set for that.
The Canadians really need to pull one back here with this power play opportunity. They've got to get a power play goal and really start putting the pressure on the net. Marьin hasn't really been tested, only a couple of times. You can see that Dave King's really trying to urge the boys on.
Ronning taps it back to Courtnall. He gets it back to the blue line. The Canadians now with that man advantage pushed over to Ronning, looking for Courtnall along the boards. Fleury picks it up. Fleury and Yanni playing back on the D. Fleury getting it up, and there's no one there to pick it up except for Fetisov. Kravchuk along the boards for the Soviets. 1:02 now remaining on the penalty. The Canadians still trying to mount some kind of pressure here in the first period. Linden works his way right in. Linden's in there, he shoots. Oh. Marьin came up with that puck. Linden broke right in around the defense. A great move by him.
I mentioned that Marьin needed to be tested. Well, he came up big on this opportunity. He is tested and makes a great save. Stuck the big mid out there. Linden had worked really hard to get to him. Good save for Marьin.
A golden opportunity there for the Canadians to cut down this 2-goal lead by the Soviets. They've got the man advantage. Sakic in the circle, as were a lot of other players, but the linesman let that go as Malahov shoots it all the way down the ice. Less than 4 minutes on the period, 40 seconds on the penalty. Lidster for Canada. Lidster fires it in. Larmer goes after it. Thomas is there. Thomas taken out of the play nicely, but that comes over to Racine. Racine looking for Thomas. Thomas can't control that. Larmer loses it along the boards, and the Canadians still hang on to it. Punched in too hard for Thomas, and Racine will pick it up in this corner. Racine bats it back. Gusarov took his man out heavily in front of the net, and the Soviets will have killed off this penalty. Konstantinov steps back on the ice, and the teams are back at full strength.
The Canadians just really aren't playing well as a team at the moment.
We're going to take a short break now. There's the score. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Turku in Finland. We're still in the first period. The Soviets lead the Canadians 2-0, and they really have outplayed them for most of this period. The Canadians look a bit sluggish, and the Soviets really have been stringing the passes together. Back on the attack now. The shot coming off the skate. Pavel Bure, always dangerous around that net, and Kamensky now gets it for the Soviet. Kamensky works right in, and the shot right there was more of a push forward as he tried to stick handle around the defenseman. Slightly lost it, but Vernon comes up with it.
Kamensky had about 1 foot less to play with there. He probably would have pulled that move off. He's got such a long reach. Pushed the puck through his legs and went around 2 defensemen, but he was right on top of the goalie by this time as the puck skipped off his stick the second time. Vernon just hanging on. He's under a lot of pressure.
Bit of time being taken here on this face-off. Now they get it together. Fleury going up against Semак. Schlegel picks it up for Canada. Coming down on the left wing with 2 minutes now on the clock in the first period. The Canadians would dearly love to pop one here and go into the dressing room with a smile on their faces. Nemchinov taps that one forward. Nemchinov, the return pass coming in off goal, being shadowed there by Schlegel. Schlegel was all over him like a blanket, but Nemchinov manages to get it back. Mironov to the far side. The Soviets with Nemchinov giving that one away, and then the Canadians do the same trick. Kravchuk picks it up. Kravchuk bats it forward and he gives it away. Lomachin over the blue line. Offside is the call. And both teams guilty of throwing the puck away here in the last few seconds of this first period. Offside there, the call. You can see the Soviet player Semak on the left wing preceding the puck over the blue line. Running for Canada. Zhamnov for the Soviets, and Yanni pumps it forward. The pass over to Courtnall is too far for him, but he races into the corner. The whistle beats him to it. Other games being played now. Finland against Germany. There's no score after the first period, and I know the Finnish fans will be disappointed to hear that. All the way back to the blue. There's going to be a penalty on the play. The indication is hooking. Kozlov skates slowly to the bench.
Young Kozlov, of course, trying to impress the coach and keep his position out here, playing with some of the experienced players. A little bit too aggressive the second time he's been caught for a penalty in this period.
He went after Fleury the first time, and Ronning this time. He's going after the small guys out there. He's not stupid, that's for sure. He picks his players, well, the way he should pick his players. Why go after the big guys when you can get away with dumping the shorter guys on the ice? So a chance for the Canadians once again. This penalty will carry over into the second period, of course, unless there's a goal scored. Zhamnov got the draw and punched it over to the far side. Well, we're having some problems with our pictures here, and we're going to just try to stay with it here. 55 seconds on the clock. The Canadians have just scored a goal. We apologize for that. The Canadians are celebrating, and the flags are waving, and it's now 2-1. That was a power play goal, and I'm sure that Coach Tikhonov will have words with Kozlov. Let's look at this again. The long shot. Where was Marьin?
Well, this is a classic. Theo Fleury doesn't score goals like this all the time. He's got a good shot, but he isn't world renowned for blasting them from center ice and scoring goals, and he's well happy with himself. You can see the clenched fist. He enjoyed that. The goaltender anticipating Fleury shooting it around the boards, and he just drilled it right at the net.
Makarov gets it back to the D. The shot coming. The Russian score. Kazanov made no mistake on that. Makarov, the old combination, 24-7. Gets it back, and now the score is 3-1. The Soviets are in the lead.
The Canadians should know they can't relax even for a second. Makarov, you can't say enough about his playmaking ability. Always in control, lays it back. No mistake about this. Kасatонov steps in, drills it into the goal for the third Soviet goal.
This game's starting to come alive here in the dying seconds. of this first period. 3-1, the Soviets lead it. Schlegel will go back and collect this one as the icing whistle blows.
Canadians are going to have to regroup between periods. They know they're going to have to put more pressure on the goal. The Russians have just simply outskated them for 20 minutes.
Nemchinov gets that up on the wing, and the Soviets always finding that winger free on the left side. Schlegel deflects that behind the goal. Sakic takes his man out, and the Canadians tap it forward to Thomas. Thomas with Larmer. Larmer loses that in his skate, and the Soviets now dump it away. Schlegel picks it up and gives it right back, or at least tried to give it to Thomas. There goes the buzzer to end the first period. A great period for the Soviets. They scored 3 goals. The Canadians scored 1. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with the Eurosport news, so stay with us. We've got a lot more action to come. We'll be right back. Well, at the end of the first period, the score is 3-1. The Soviets lead the Canadians, but there's going to be a lot of action to come. Still 2 periods to go. Join us in a moment when we come back live to Turku, Finland. Welcome back. We're live in Turku, Finland. The Soviets lead the Canadians 3-1 as we get set for the second period. At the end of the first period, the Canadians look decidedly sluggish.
Now, the Canadians looked slow, but to the Russians' credit, they looked unstoppable, really moving the puck well. Marьin in the goal, number 30, having a good first period, except for the one shot from Fleury.
Fetisov is always strong on defense. Malahov, Kravchuk, Gusarov, Konstantinov, Nemchinov, they're all good players who've been around a long time and who can put the puck in the net, who can prevent the puck from going in the net.
It's good to see the experience of the Russians, and Kozlov and Buре, 2 of the kids out there getting more experience and playing so well. Nemchinov, number 12. Kamensky, of course, Valery Kamensky, number 13. You can't say enough about him. Makarov, the team leader, such a playmaker.
Makarov really has picked up a lot since he went to Calgary. Semak is looking great out there at center. Buczayev, Zhamnov, and Bykov, one of my favorite players, wearing number 27. Bykov playing in Switzerland. And this guy can really skate, really move. He's a cheeky little player, and he works well with Kamensky.
Every year, oddly enough, you'll hear 1 or 2 new names that are brought out into the Russian lineup. You say, who are they? By the end of the tournament, you're well aware of who they are. They've got so much depth, and the hockey breeding in that country is so strong that these guys are just phenomenal.
Just when you think that the big boys are getting older, they're moving on a bit to the NHL or going off to play in Italy or Switzerland, and maybe you think the Soviets will struggle, they find a guy like Kozlov or Pavel Buре, and they bring them up through the ranks. Buczayev is only 20 years old. Zhamnov, who scored the second goal, is 20 years old. Zelepukin is 21, so they got a lot of depth.
Absolutely. You know, the comment keeps going on. They're without McGillney, they're without this guy, they're without that one. But all of a sudden, they bring players in and year out, they just have such a strong team.
So we start the second period. The Canadians are trailing by 2. The long shot coming from Stephen Thomas. Marьin getting a piece of that. And as you said, Richard, he has looked sharp except for that one where he went walkies. He thought it was going to be a shot all the way around the boards, and he decided to get to it before it even left Fleury's stick. And he was caught with egg in his face. Pavel Buре dropping that back. The long shot from Gusarov is deflected into the neutral zone. Gusarov goes all the way down the ice, and icing will be the call. Quick change here for the Canadians as Yanni gets over the boards. And this man here, Dave King, will have his work cut out for him.
I think Dave King knows he's up against it. I don't feel there's a team in the tournament that can skate with the Soviets. They've got such good goal scoring. The Canadians are solid, of course. They've won all their games. The Swedes are strong defensively. but day in and day out, you've got to favor the Soviet Union.
They've got the depth. They really do. Linden will go into the face-off circle. And that's tipped back to Kazanov. He gets it along the boards. Konstantinov. Kozlov. Up on the wing for Zhamnov. To the far side. Kozlov. Just couldn't get the handle on that one. Kozlov is tipped away there by Schlegel. Some good defensive stuff by Brad Schlegel as he brings it out quickly. Coming up to Linden. Schlegel now. The shot way wide of the target. Courtnall thought about getting that. He left it for Yanni. Back to Cliff Ronning. Ronning is hammered out of the play by Konstantinov, and Courtnall picks it up for Canada. Courtnall flipping it back. Courtnall loses control of that as that one was given off. Linden takes it over the blue. Linden on the backhand side is dragged to the ice by Kazanov. Courtnall flips it back in. Linden can't control that. Konstantinov. The Canadians now putting a bit of pressure on Makharov as Linden got that over the blue and then lost out to Kazanov. McCown. The change out there for the Canadians. Fresh legs. What can they do here in the second period? Fleury. He'll try that long shot. He got away with it last time. Natras. He pumps it back in. Kazanov flips that by Sakic. Up on the wing. Natras couldn't keep it in the zone. Zhamnov squeezed out of the play, but Fleury can't take it off him. Zhamnov gets it back, and the Canadians are there to pick it up, and the break is on. Sakic drops it back. Sakic, the return pass, the shot is right on goal. He was playing patty cake there with Fleury, and at the last moment tried to do a bit of a wraparound, but Marьin was equal to it.
Good give and go. Sakic very tight to the goal, really couldn't do a lot with it by the time he got the pass back from Fleury. There he is, he's looking to just tuck one in on the near side. Fleury going for the rebound. There are 4 Russian defenders back around the front of that goal. Fleury didn't have much of a chance for a rebound.
The Soviets certainly teach you that ice hockey is a two-way game. So many guys who play forward think that it's just their job to score goals, but they've got it wrong, and the Soviets know it. You got to come back all the way. Hey, you keep going right through the boards if that's the way your guy goes. Lidster, the long shot, wide of the target. Flip to the far side. The Canadians keep it in. Going through a good spell now with Archibald. That's tapped in the corner. There's no one to pick it up, and Smith goes after his own puck. Archibald again to the far side. Racine will go after this with Lidster. 3-1 to score here in the second period. The Canadians got off to a slow start in the first period, but now they seem to have picked it up a gear. Archibald, Lidster. Some good forechecking by the Soviets, but the Canadians bring it out. Craven, that one off a skate. Kravchuk squeezed out of the play along the boards. The puck was right out front, but there was no one there to pick it up. Nemchinov, the long pass to the far side. That'll go over the red line, and icing is the call.
Both teams changing. Play opening up a little bit. Passes going outside. Good end-to-end action. Soviets do seem like they're in control.
I said that the Canadians were going through a good spell, but it's almost like the Soviets kind of wake up for a moment and say, well, let's score a goal. And they go down and they score a goal. They have that amazing ability as Larmer picks it up to do whatever they want out there. Larmer has that bounce off the plexi to the far side. Schlegel goes after it, gets it back into the corner. The Canadians now, the shot coming from number 23, Stephen Thomas, is picked up off the backboards by Makharov. The return pass is too hard for him. Now he gets it. Coming up to the 4-minute mark. Makharov tips it forward, looking for Zelapukin. Makharov wants it, but Zelapukin kicks it back to Byakin. Makharov now for the Soviets against Yanni. Yanni wins that one. Schlegel takes it back behind the goal. Brad Schlegel over the blue, the red, and flips it in. going for the change. The Canadians trying to keep fresh legs out there. Ilya Byakin looking for the give and go, and he gets it. Byakin drops it back right in front. A good interception there by Natras. That's along the boards. That'll be a two-line pass. Courtnall just a step ahead of that puck.
Canadians had just changed the forwards. They are passing the puck around better. They seem to be loosening up, and they're skating better now, Paula. They are putting more pressure on the Russian defense and making them go back.
"28-year-old Courtnall has played for Boston, Edmonton, Washington, now with the Vancouver Canucks. Linden decides to take the body rather than the man. Ronning picks it up. Still it's Ronning losing control, one too many moves, and Pavel Buda deep in his own zone. Onto the wing, Buda looking for the return pass. So many times you'll see that, the Soviets giving and going in their own zone and getting the return pass. Pavel Buda circles nicely, drops it back, gets the return pass in the corner, being shadowed by McCown as that goes to Kamensky on the far side. Buda overskates that, gets the tip right out front. The Canadians now come back hard. Linden to the far side. Courtnall takes the shot, that was deflected, and Marьin banged on the rebound completely. Marьin completely out to lunch as that came off the backboards. He wasn't watching the puck, he was watching the players, and I'm sure that a defenseman or two will have words with him as Courtnall takes this shot.
Courtnall's shot was deflected by the defenseman's stick. It went off the puckboard, came to the front of the net. Marьin didn't seem to have a clue where it was. In the meantime, Trevor Linden's on his way in looking for a rebound and nearly got one.
Zhamnov gets it back to Kazanov up on the wing, and the Soviets throwing it around nicely to get it out of the zone. Konstantinov, the big defenseman, takes the shot wide of the net. Conroy for Canada up on the wing. Fleury looking for Bozak. Too far for him. Bozak shrugged out of the play by Konstantinov, and eventually Konstantinov gets it up. Zhamnov. 6 minutes and 4 seconds gone in the period. Kozlov for the Soviets. Not a good pass from him, and that's picked off by Larmer. Larmer looking for Bozak on the far side. Bozak is stopped in his tracks by Kazanov, and the Soviets bring it out with ease. 3 men forward, a lot of Canadian shirts back. The drop back to Makarov. Makarov has that pass go through his legs, and Larmer picks it up for Canada. Larmer along the boards to Schlegel. And still the fans here waiting for this game to kick up a gear. The tip right to Marьin. Mironov gets it out of the zone. The Canadians doing some good back checking, unable to hang on to the puck on that occasion. Seven minutes gone here in the period. Another whistle on the play. 3-1 the score. Lomachin, Zhamnov, Kazanov for the Soviets. Fleury with that long shot from the neutral zone, beating Marьin, made it 3-1 for the Soviets over Canada, and that's the way it is right now as we come to you live from Turku in Finland.
Good action there. Natras taking Semak well out of the play. He was unable to get back quick enough. The Russians brought the puck flying back over again, but it was too late.
Archibald wins that one, gets it back to Natras. McCown keeps it in. Mironov along the boards, and the Canadians grab it. Craven tips it behind the goal. Craven works his way out front and behind the goal. Now Smith has it. Smith, the chance for a shot, takes the shot, and the save is there. And there's going to be a penalty on the play. Craven was dumped to the ice right in front of the official, and Kravchuk works his way slowly to the penalty box. Let's look at this again.
Good action for the Canadians. Shot going to the goal. Murray Craven. Very obvious penalty. Igor Kravchuk taking him out. He's not even near the puck. Good call by the referee. The Canadians are in a good spell right now. It'd be a great opportunity for them to pull one back with a power play.
Right in front is 23, Thomas. He just couldn't get the stick on the puck to get the shot away. 7.5 minutes gone in the second period. Fleury, who never stopped skating, gives that one away, the long shot. Vernon says, thank you very much. That'll build my confidence just a little. Fleury again. A long pass intended for Joe Sakic was just a bit too far, and the offside whistle blows.
Time here, White, lots of time.
You can hear the call from the Canadian bench. Lots of time, White, lots of time. They know they've got well over a period and a bit to play. And they've got a chance to bring the score a lot closer. It's 3-1 right now, and they've got the man advantage, but you can't leave it too long against the Soviet Union.
You've got to take advantage of every opportunity you get. The Soviets can strike so quickly. They're very dangerous in the shorthanded situations as well.
Malakov shoots that all the way down the ice. And Fleury tells the referee what he wants and where he wants that face-off. That goes out of the rink and we'll have a face-off. Well, it should be in the neutral zone. Well, they're taking it all the way down into Soviet territory.
Some cheers in the arena as the Finnish score was put up there. The Finns are out in front of the Germans. Of course, they like that. Coming from Helsinki, they're all behind their team no matter where they are in the country.
Fleury now for Canada. The pass forward. And the Canadians with 3 men forward going in on the right wing is Sakic there with Thomas. Now the Soviets break. 1 minute on the penalty. And the Soviets elect to shoot that down the ice and get some fresh legs out there. 50 seconds now on the penalty. The long pass in. The Soviets signaling that the whistle should have blown on that as Fleury runs into trouble with Bykov. Kamensky out there to help kill off this penalty. Linden rather, drops it forward. Thomas. Linden, the shot is a high one. It's batted down. And Malakov clears it away for the Soviets. 20 seconds on the penalty. The Canadians really not mounting any pressure here. Racine doing a great job of getting rid of Kamensky. The quick break now. The long shot by Courtnall is deflected away by Marьин. Racine running. The Soviets now with a man back on the ice. Linden gives that off to Ronning. To Linden. Linden trying to work his way out from the shot, hit the side of the net. Courtnall goes after it. Fetisov is there for the Soviets. He takes a hit from Linden, but the Soviets come up with a puck. Fetisov will take this deep into his own territory, and now he gets it back with Kamensky and Makarov. Makarov circles, looks for someone to pass to. A nice little move by him as he runs into too many players, some of them from his own team, and that comes along the boards to Linden. Ronning, who's been out there quite a while with number 10, Courtnall, and Linden try to get a change as Makarov puts it to the far side. That tip will go all the way down the ice for the Soviets. Makarov getting a piece of it, and icing is the call. There's the score, 3-1. The Soviets are still in the lead here in the second period. Join us in a moment for remainder of play from Turku. To the second period, as you can see, Murray Craven is sitting for 2, slashing in the neutral zone. 3-1 still the score. The Soviets leading over Canada, and we've passed the midway point in the second period. Konstantinov will work this power play with Kozlov, And it's nice to see that the Soviet coach is going with the youngsters on the power play. The Soviets have never really had a power play. They just seem to go with the line that's out there. And it just shows you the confidence he has in everyone on his team. A long shot coming in. Makatov bounces that on the boards. And the Canadians under pressure here in the second period. McCown tries to get it out, being shadowed there by Konstantinov. Konstantinov gets it back to the blue line. Zhamnov to the far side. Zhamnov works his way in. That comes back to Konstantinov. He takes a shot. That's a weak one. It took a deflection. And that's cleared out of the zone. 105 now on the Canadian penalty as they get fresh legs out there. Breakdown in communication as Konstantinov has to come back and rescue the situation. Courtnall is all over him. Courtnall stays with him. The Canadians doing a good job here of forechecking and killing off this penalty. Conroy has that go back to Lidster. Lidster gets it forward. Bozek, the shot right on the target. Conroy was looking for the rebound. The Canadians going forward despite the fact that Craven is in the box. Courtnall shoots it back in the zone.
Great job up front for the Canadians, not letting the Russians wind up. Courtnall doing an excellent job of staying all over the defenseman.
Now it's Larmer's turn to put pressure on. He's out there with Sakic. Semak on the backhand side. Semak dropping that back. Yanni can't get to it. Nemchinov picks it up for the Soviets. 5 seconds on the penalty. The Canadians now getting set to throw their man back on the ice. Craven jumps on there. The chance for the shot coming from Nemchinov. And Vernon makes the save, and the Canadians break hard. Coming up on the wing, Larmer looking for Craven. That took a deflection out of the zone. And McCown has to go back and pick it up. McCown over the blue line. Well, he thought all the Canadians had cleared the zone, and you can see the look of amazement on his face. But he's not going to argue that. We'll have a face-off. As offside is the call, and there's the scoreline, 3-0.
Finnish supporters very happy with that. Nieminen, Suominen, and Curry, the goal scorers. Their team is ahead of the Germans, 3-0.
Fighting out for that fourth position. The 4 top teams go up and play off for the medal round. And the Finns need a victory today to keep them in contention. That pass intended for Zelepukin. That's right out front. And now the Canadians. Thomas looking for the pass on the wing. Thomas now picks it up, takes the shot. It's a weak one. He tried to get that through Larmer's skate. No power on it as Marьin cleared away. Thomas fans on that. Bozek now a chance. Gets it right across. A chance for the shot. And a great save there. Marьin came out of the cage and fell in front of the puck.
Canadians have definitely picked their play up. McCowan with a good opportunity there. Nicely fed from Steve Bozek. Good action. Thomas with a couple of opportunities. The Canadian supporters are happier now. Tikhonov with a little bit of concern on his face as he's guiding his defense as to what he wants to see on that ice. Good pass from Steve Bozek. McCowan walked in. Almost put it in.
A lot of clapping now. The fans have got off their hands. They're getting behind both these teams as the whistle blows again. And I think the problem is whenever you have 2 top teams in a game, you expect so much. No matter which sport it is, you always expect the sparks to fly from the opening faceoff. Sometimes it never happens, but sometimes it takes a little while.
Well, it's a game of strategy as well. There's some teams that'll pick their spot. They play a controlled, disciplined game. Other teams want to come out, get the first goal, come right out flying, and keep the pressure on.
Archibald is being told to leave the circle. And you can see the linesman giving instruction to the center. Bozek had his shot deflected away. Pavel Bure breaks towards the net, picks it up in the corner now. Kamensky was trying to feed him with the pass. Bykov gives it to Kamensky. Kamensky being shadowed there by number 5, Conroy. Still Kamensky throws out the one arm to shield the stick away, and the poke check was there, but the Soviets Lose it out now to Craven. The pass up on the wing to Bozek. Bozek to Fleury. Fleury tapping it back, looking for Craven. He got the chop but didn't get the puck. Kamensky brought to the ice heavily, and the Soviets looking for the quick break-in on goal. That doesn't come. Fleury now. Fleury working his way right. It takes a shot and misses the corner. The Canadians all around that Soviet net. Bozek couldn't hang on to that bobbling puck. Craven went after it. The Soviets with the dangerous pass right in center to Pavel Bure. He hands that off nicely to Bykov. Bykov to Kamensky. Dropping it back to Fetisov and intercepted there by McCowan. He bounces it off the boards. Ronning now for Canada. Ronning a chance for a shot. Drops it back to Linden. Linden works his way right in and the shot is there. And it wasn't a difficult one. Marьin made the save. And Makarov picks it up now.
End-to-end action. Good penetration from the Canadians. Quickly the Soviets are on the attack.
Makarov sweeps the front of the goal. Looking for the return pass, and that comes into number 9, Kozlov. Kozlov shaking off Natras. The loose puck is right in front, and the Canadians, with a lot of white shirts there, clear it into the neutral zone. Kozlov with Makarov. Makarov working out there with Zhamnov. That comes back to the top of the circle. The shot comes now. Deflected away. Ronning bounces it up on the boards. And Konstantinov has to go back to save the situation. Kozlov back on the left wing. Scoots around Natras but can't take the puck with him. Linden for Canada. The long pass all the way down the ice as we approach the 16-minute mark here in the second period.
Good spell for the Canadians once again. Their spirits seem a bit higher now. They're more involved in the game. And their forechecking is paying off. They're taking the body, applying pressure in the Russian zone, which is making it difficult for the Russians to wind up. There's that opportunity for Trevor Linden. Marьin did well to keep that one out of the goal.
So you got Lomachin out there talking to Mironov, who's wearing number 14. 14 under normal conditions, normally worn by Shiryev, who's not with the team now. Schlegel to the far side, being chased there by Craven. Kravchuk gets to it first. Golfed along the boards, and the Soviets get it out. Yanni pushes that away from Semak. The long pass. The Canadians now looking a lot more confident as Craven goes in after Mironov. Smith on the backhand side, right in front. Craven gets a shot away. Marьin came up with another key save as he slid across the open goal. Craven was right there.
Once again, it shows you what skating will do for you. The Soviets' defense showing that they can be vulnerable as well under a lot of pressure. Some good stuff from Murray Craven. Randall Smith with an excellent job to push the puck out front to him. Marьin stacks the pads up and manages to come up with it. There's Dave Archibald. He's being tackled by the defense in front. There's no way he's going to get a chance for it. Good action there. There's Murray Craven. Marьin does well. Dave Archibald is taken out of the play very nicely by the Russian defense.
So Marьin showing that he was worthy of that first place start. Sakic along the boards to Thomas. The giveaway there is picked up by Zelepukin. Working with Makarov. That'll be an offside pass.
Another thing that Tikhonov is taking notes on as he sees that the Canadian defense is starting to stand the Russians up on the blue line. There's an example right here. Zelepukin comes up to the blue line. It's not a good pass by him to Makarov, but he knew that right at the blue line he felt the presence of the defense and had to make a decision, whereas in the first period they were given the time to step over the blue line.
Lomachin won that from Sakic, and that goes deep to Conroy. With Lidster, back to Conroy, back to Lidster. Conroy now off the boards, and Sakic will go after it. Marьin, clever little dummy by him, and the Soviets break now. Three men working their way forward. The long shot. Conroy tips that into the neutral zone. That's over the blue line, and the Canadians now with a break. Larmer takes it, she scores!
This is exactly why Steve Larmer's the leading scorer for the Chicago Blackhawks. Given the opportunity, he's got a great shot on that left side. Fed very nicely with that pass. Watch this heads-up pass from Doug Lidster. Straight through the defense. Great shot for Steve Larmer on the move. There's the pass from Lidster. He's over the blue line, lets it go, beats Marьin on the low side. Excellent shot, nice goal. The Canadians are right back in it.
You know, you look at this shot, and this is the kind of thing a goaltender hates to see. A lot of young players would say, I'm going to go in, pull out the goaltender, fight off the defenseman. Hey, you're 30 feet out, 25 feet out, let go the slap shot. What chance has the goalie got? You got so many holes to shoot at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, certainly, and you're also taught, shoot it on the fly, and that's just what Larmer did. Skated in, did not let Marьin get set for the shot. Came over the blue line. He was thinking shot all the way, and he got it off very nicely.
The Canadians are slowly bringing themselves back into this game on the scoreboard as well as on the ice. They're playing a lot better than they did in the first period, but don't count out the Soviets. 1 minute they're under pressure, next minute they're leading you by a couple. Fetisov gets that out front. Vernon tried to tip it away. Not a great clearance by him as Bykov backhands it into the corner. That comes back to the point. The shot. Vernon makes a save and again bobbles it and covers up the rebound for a face-off.
This is what the Canadians did the last time they scored a goal. They seemed to let up, and the Russians scored a quick one back on them. They're going to have to keep them out and keep the pressure in the Soviet zone. Good job by Mike Vernon.
Kravchuk letting this one fly from about 50 feet out. Vernon saw it all the way and was fairly quick to react on that loose puck. Fleury was there to help him out. Fleury, a great two-way player. Fleury on the right wing has been all over the ice. The long pass intercepted at the blue by the Soviets. And again, you could see the move there just before the blue line. Makarov had no option but to step offside as Bykov brought the puck over after the player. Watch this again. You can see the move here. And Bykov rather goes offside.
That was as close a call as you're ever going to see. Bykov with one too many stick handles on the puck. The puck just barely came over that blue line. Linesman right on it.
Groening will go into the circle with less than 2 minutes on the period. 3-2 the score. Konstantinov whistles that one around the boards to the far side, and the Canadians will bring this out. Groening for Canada up on the left wing, a chance for number 10, Jeffrey Courtnall. And he likes to let that shot go from the left wing position.
Courtnall's another one, a lot like Steve Larmer. Got the big shot from the left side, likes to let it go. More than happy to catch a goaltender unaware. This is a good line for the Vancouver Canucks. Linden with Groening and Courtnall. They play together during the season. It's been a successful line, and they're out here together for the Canadian team.
Face off in Soviet territory, Groening trying to get a stick on it. Now he gets his glove on it. Some nice little passes. Well, that wasn't one of them by the Soviets. Groening all over the ice now. Groening a chance of shooting. That's a fly, and that's high. Possibly deflected off a stick. Kosloff to the far side, looking for the return pass as he works his way towards the blue line. Zhamnov gets it back to the blue line. Kosloff. The shadow there by Courtnall, and the Canadians get out of the zone. The pass into the neutral zone. 1 minute on the play. Kosloff works towards the center. The shot comes. That takes a deflection. Kosloff has the puck now and gets it into the corner. Zhamnov out there with Makarov along the boards. And that trickles back to Kazatanoff, and he'll go for a skate. 40 seconds now on the clock. Semak. Nemchinov breaks. Nemchinov takes the chop from Larmer, but still manages to hang on to the puck. Mironov pumps it into the Canadian zone. And McCowan gets it out, but not far enough. McCowan is all over his man and brings him down. Oh, and that's going to be a penalty. My co-commentator, Richard Beaupre, picks himself up off the floor. He didn't believe that one at all. And McCowan bites his lip and goes to the penalty box.
Well, he had a piece of the jersey, but I'm not sure as though that was hard enough to pull the man off his feet the way he went off his feet. Cut very sharply. Unfortunately for James McCowan, he did have a hold of the jersey and it looked really drastic. Mykela saw it as being very drastic and threw him in the penalty box.
What else can you say?
Not a lot.
Time ticking away here in the second period. 20 seconds on the clock. The Canadians with a man in the box. Larmer can't get a handle on that. He goes after his man now as Nemchinov moves towards the bench. Now Larmer picks it up with 9 seconds. The Soviets will not get a chance to shoot on goal, and they know it. They wait for the whistle to go. A good period for the Canadians as they brought themselves right back into this game. The score now, the Soviets 3 and the Canadians have 2, so we have a lot of action to come. After this break, we're going to go to Eurosport News, so stay with us. And after Eurosport News, back to live action from Turku, Finland. Join us in a moment.
Has virtually assured itself of a playoff spot with a 2-1 victory over Czechoslovakia and the World Ice Hockey Championships. The Czechs, 6 times world champions, were in trouble from the start. Goaltender Peter Britsa preventing the Swedes taking the lead in the first period. The Czechs have been suffering from a depleted side, but they've won their last 2 and badly needed a third in succession. But the Swedish centre Thomas Rundqvist put his team ahead in the 29th minute when Czechoslovakia had a man in the penalty spot. Rundqvist, capped 210 times as an international, dominated the centre of the rink throughout. No further score in the second period, but Rundqvist was in action again 1 minute into the third with his power play goal. Good skill there from Rundqvist. 2-0 down, the Czech team rallied, and with 10 minutes remaining, Richard Smelik scored to take the score to 2-1, and that's where it remained. Czechoslovakia then now face the likely prospect of missing the 4-team final series for the first time since 1986.
Welcome back. We're live here on Eurosport from Turku, Finland. The crowds are getting set for this third period. Let's take a look right now at the highlights from the second period, and the Canadians really did put it together. The first period was all the Soviet Union. They scored 3 goals to 1 for the Canadians, and now the Canadians put on the pressure. Larmer getting that lovely pass from Lidster, and all he had to do was put it in the net.
We said that the Canadians seemed to have picked up their game. They were moving the puck better. A great heads-up pass from Doug Lidster sends Steve Larmer through for a nice goal.
We're back now, live now, with the Canadians playing from right to left, and McCowan in the penalty box as Mykela gets set to drop the puck. He's done that, and the Canadians now with the puck. They'll want to kill off this penalty if they can. Bozek and Fleury mix it up in the neutral zone. Fettisov to the far side.
The first period, as you said, Paul, was all Soviet Union. The second period was dominated by Canada. It's anybody's game with 20 minutes left in a period. 20 minutes left in a game. Can go either way. The long reach of Valery Kamensky here as he just pulls the puck back just long enough to allow the left winger to go one step ahead of him.
Oh, it was a close call, but it's easier to call it on a replay than it is when you're down on the ice. Fettisov with just over a minute on the penalty, 32 seconds on the clock here in the period. Kamensky against the boards. Kamensky follows it, and so does Lidster. That comes all the way back to the blue to Fettisov. Fettisov Gets it right in front. Vernon is there waiting for it. Oh, and a great little move there by Conroy to break up that play.
Absolutely right. Steve Conroy probably saved a goal there. Nice touch from Bykov in front. Soviets had two forwards there.
The break here coming from Sakic as he gives it off to Larmer. The shot right on goal. Sakic's there. He can't get the touch as Marьin dropped the puck. The Canadians with Larmer still having some pressure right in front. And Schlegel couldn't get the shot away. Tap behind the goal. Larmer has got it now. And the Canadians with a man down are enjoying some power play action here of their own.
Well, even shorthanded, the Canadians are dangerous. Larmer and Sakic are two of the NHL's top 10 goal scorers this year. They both can put the puck in the net.
Sakic gets rid of that one for Canada. Fetisov goes deep, and the Canadians have successfully killed off this penalty. Back on the attack now. Zhamnov steered into the corner by Yassine. The Canadians, the long shot there from McCowan as he steps out of the penalty box. Racine gets that right out front. The shot from Yanni is there. And again, Marьin makes the good save. That was a good one from Marьin. He was partially screened on the play and got the glove to it. So the face-off will be in his territory with Zhamnov doing the honors. Roning will make his way slowly into the face-off circle. Linden hammers his man into the woodwork.
Good aggressive play, but too aggressive in Mykela's eyes. There you can see him pointing, shouting like a traffic cop. Konstantinov is going to take his time going to the penalty box. Good dive from Jeff Courtnall, paid off. The stick was there, but I'm not so sure as though that was as drastic a trip as Mykela made it out to be.
So number 20, or number 16 rather, 24-year-old Konstantinov. And I really had to look twice at his age on the score sheet. He's had a rough year, Konstantinov, but he's an excellent player. Courtnall too far for Yanni, and there's going to be a penalty on the play.
You see Cliff Ronning saying, look, he's cut. Linden is down. Appears to have been, he was hit with a high stick. Ronning saying that drew blood. He's looking for a major penalty. Zhamnov's going to the box, but here's the play. In the corner, the stick comes up high. It catches Trevor Linden. That's smart.
Courtnall got it away, but Linden got the stick in the face. High sticking is the call. Zhamnov. And Konstantinov. Now the call is 2 minutes for high sticking. The Canadians wanted more. And Linden has the blood to show it.
It's character building. Accidental high stick. It can happen. Linden with a good cut under the eye. He'll stay on the ice. He's not going to go off over something like that.
Fleury starts it out for Canada. Over the blue. To Yanni, back to Fleury. He's got the shot. So is Yanni. Trent Yanni into the side, right in front. As they score! Cliff Ronning was well positioned on the far post, and the Canadian fans are up on their feet.
They played well during that second period. They're carrying it through. 5-on-3. They quickly strike. They're still going to have a power play opportunity. Good stuff from the Canadians, moving the puck quickly. Yanni had a play on it. They're all touching it. Well set up. Linden down low. The puck manages to get behind Marьин for the tying goal.
Yanni to the far side as the Canadians level the score. Fleury taps it forward. Ronning, a nice little move by him. Ronning now, stick handling along the hash marks to Fleury. The Soviets with a man back on the ice, but one still in the penalty box. Yanni's right there, the puck is loose in front. Marьin came out to make the save.
Marьin not about to take any chances. He's just watched one go in off a defenseman's skate. He's not going to let it happen twice. You can see the action building up again. Yanni coming in from his defensive spot. Good stuff by Kасатонов to help out in front of the goal. But Marьin's going to stay right down low and not let anything get behind him.
Still the Canadians with that man advantage. Racine into the corner. Good deflection there by Kasatonov as that comes out to the far side. 1 minute still on the penalty. Kamensky deflects that out to the red line, and Lidster gets it back to Racine. Racine for Canada. Up on the blue, the Canadians now playing with a lot more confidence as Fetisov missed his man there. The Canadians now again buzz it around that goal. Racine to the far side. Return pass into the corner. Thomas picks it up, loses control, but the Canadians keep it up. Thomas punches that back into the corner. Larmer goes after it and is beaten to it, but the Canadians keep it in. Right in front is Larmer. He picks it up and bounces it off the backboards for Thomas. Larmer still looking for that loose puck as that is eventually shot out of the zone all the way down to the Canadian goalie, and Lidster will take it out. 6 seconds on the penalty. Lidster up on the wing. Craven is there with Larmer. Craven takes the shot. Larmer fanned on the bobbling puck. Had a chance perhaps to put it in on the short side, and that shot all the way down the ice. And the Soviets are back at full strength.
The Soviets return their man. Trying to get some fresh legs on the ice. Will take the icing call and the face-off. Tikhonov having a word with his players. Shot from Murray Craven. It's off the deflector glove on the replay here, and you can see Steve Larmer always going to that goal.
You take the shot and then go in for the rebound, and that's what the Canadians are doing now. The Soviets do it all the time. Archibald shoots that one forward. Mironov got it up, and now Bykov to the far side. Bykov looking for the return pass, but Kamensky got it into the corner, and the Soviets lose control of that, and they have to go into their own zone with Mironov being shadowed by Smith all the way down the ice. And again we have a whistle, and we have a few jeers from the crowd here in Turku. They want to see some action.
It's unusual to see the Soviets looking unorganized, but it's happening. A lot of it has to do with the high spirits of the Canadian team as they've really come out skating hard.
Archibald will do the honors at center for the Canadians, and Semák will go for the Soviet Union. An all-important face-off in the Soviet zone. Lomachin receiving just more than his fair share of stick on that one and manages to get it away. And Kravchuk gets a hit from Craven. Schlegel gets it to the far side, but Semák intercepts. He's got Nemchinov in there. Nemchinov now goes against the boards, and the Soviets bring it out. The pass is right in front, and the Canadians make sure that it's out of the zone. Kravchuk goes deep. Marьin is getting a stick from Archibald. Kravchuk. A lot of high sticking out there on and off the plate. Semák, the shot right on goal. Fleury skates back down the right wing. This guy has got speed and he's got the shot. Fleury to the far side, a nice pass to Craven. and he couldn't get the shot away.
Good back checking from the Soviet. Semак getting himself back into the play, helping out.
Natras cleared that to the far side, and Craven picks it up. Craven has got Larmer intercepted this time by Lomackin. And as you said, Richard, the Soviets are really getting back into position. They must have had a word from their coach Tikhonov. That's up on the wing now. Lomackin poke checked out of the play, still has a chance to move it out. And now Fleury for Canada. 3 men for the Soviets back as Bozek picks it up on the wing now. He's got Fleury out front. Bozek can't do the wraparound, still hangs on to the puck. A good move by Bozek as he tries to get it to Fleury. Larmer picks it up now. To Fleury. Back to the point, and that bounces over Lidster's stick, and the race is on, but Conroy will get there first.
Good action. The Canadians still pressing the play in the corners in that Soviet zone.
Well, anyone will tell you that hockey games are won in the corners, and it's all important for both of these teams to win the, well, Courtnall was way offside there, to win these battles in the corner. Fleury took a chop there, and you see him skating after Konstantinov.
Good action. Trevor Linden on the move. You can see Courtnall on the bottom of your screen go offside. Fleury looking for that pass, gets it, but it's already been blown dead. He takes a little chop from Konstantinov and gives the crowd a little something to think about as he quickly skated toward him to have a word with him.
You know, Fleury's a small guy, but he's got a lot of heart. Plays for the Calgary Flames, and he really knows how to throw what weight he has around out there.
Well, he certainly has to. He played 79 regular season games. He ended up 8th in the scoring in the NHL with 104 points this year.
The crowd reacts to that one. There's going to be a penalty on the play. The Canadians have taken their goalie off as Racine brings it in. That is touched by Kuzatov. And hooking is the call, so as soon as the Soviets touched the puck, the whistle blew. And so the Canadians with their goalie off, no fear of a goal going in their net. There's the infraction.
Quite obviously, Zhamnov putting the hook on his man. Canadians reorganizing, carrying the puck back to get it to the defense to set up. Zhamnov, very guilty. Not much of a doubt about that.
Another power play situation for the Canadians here in the third period. McCown to Fleury. Fleury's back on the D once again, and he really has put in a lot of ice time here in the third period.
He's very fit. He's used to these shifts.
Coach Dave King relying heavily on the 22-year-old native of Oxbow, Saskatchewan. Larmer wins the draw. The Canadians looking to get it over to Fleury, and they do. Back to McCown. The slap shot comes in. The rebound is there. Thomas couldn't get a stick on that one as that trickles out over the zone. McCown gets it to the far side, and Fleury picks it up, being shadowed by Makarov, one of his teammates back in Canada. 8 minutes now gone in the period. 1:29 remaining on the penalty as Kuzatov. 2 nice moves by Kuzatov to get that around the Canadian forecheckers and get it down the zone. Fleury once again. Oh, Fleury almost lost it with Fernan out walkies. Kozlov really did a great job of nearly stealing that off his stick. Larmer to the far side. Sakic couldn't hang on to that. Fleury kept it in. Sakic to Fleury. Has got Racine on this side. The swap shot. Steered away as Racine pumps it back into Larmer. Larmer takes a hit, and Thomas goes in to help out. 50 seconds now on the penalty as the Soviets try to get a change. Nemchinov goes for a skate.
Canadians with good shots from the point. Good job by Marьin to keep the puck out.
Racine, 35 seconds on the penalty. Offside is the call. And Courtnall just a step over the blue line.
Good build up by the Canadians. They're coming up the ice. Mironov just gets a stick on this and throws Courtnall off. Could have been dangerous. All the Soviets reacted, clearly wanted that whistle blown.
Semak, Nemchinov, 3-3 the score here. The Soviet Union and Canada as Ronin picks it up. 23 seconds over the blue line. Working right in front is Courtnall. The Canadians with Lidster trying to get something going here with the man advantage. Racine sees an opportunity, takes the shot, the rebound is right in front. Linden couldn't get on it. And that's eventually tipped up into the air and down the ice. And Vernon pushes that into Lidster, and the Soviets are back to full strength. Racine having problems with Semak, and that's a giveaway. Oh, and there's the score from number 26, Zhamnov. And Racine gave it right to him.
Racine had taken a shot at the other end that wasn't the right timing on the power play. Comes down to this end, into the Canadian zone. He gives the puck away. 26 is all in there by himself. That's Zhamnov for the goal. Semak with the steal over to Zhamnov for his second goal of the game.
Well, a moment ago, the Soviet number 9, Kozlov, almost stole the puck behind the net. And it just goes to show you what forechecking can do. You put the pressure on, and 9 times out of 10, someone at some time is going to cough up the puck. Four to 3 the score now, as Craven loses out and eventually tips it back into his own zone. The Canadians with Schlegel getting it into the zone. All the Canadians had to slam on the brakes. Kazatanoff at the midway point of the third period. 10 minutes remaining in the game. Archibald taken out of the play. Craven wasn't fooled on that one, and Smith brings it forward. Gets it up to number 12, Archibald. Drops it back. A chance now. Smith pumps it in to Archibald behind the net. Craven is out front. Kazatanoff comes to the rescue and gives it to Konstantinov. The long pass into the neutral zone. Pavel Buре to Kamensky. That's off his skate. McCowan backhands it up on the boards to Archibald, who gets it out of the zone. Icing is the call, and that has certainly taken the sting out of the Canadians' attack. A great opportunity taken well by the Soviets.
The heads did go down a bit, but they played well. There's a lot of time left. They're only 1 goal down. They've worked so hard to come back. They certainly can do it again. They've got to keep the pressure on, as they have earlier in the period, and not let the Soviets get to them in their defensive zone.
Fetisov pushed that in when it went out over the blue line. And so the whistle blows again. Everyone out there looking at the clock to see just where they are. 21-year-old Zelepukin, no exception, as Sakic tries to get that one forward to Thomas. The Canadians golfing it in with Conroy getting a piece of that. Sakic backhands it, looking for number 23, Stephen Thomas. Back to Lidster. Lidster takes it into the corner, the handoff in the corner. Sakic. Conroy is checked right at the blue. Sakic drops it back to Conroy. The Canadians on the attack, and again we have a delayed offside on the play as Conroy tries to get it back into Soviet territory. Too many red shirts around for the Canadians to get anything going. Now on the attack, the shot. Vernon watched that one as it took a deflection off Lidster.
Good play by Doug Lidster. Breakdown by the Canadians in the neutral zone. 2-on-2. You can see Larmer, a bit of frustration on his face. He's been breaking hard up and down the ice, looking to get that bounce that's going to put the Canadians back in this. There's that play with young Zelepukin with a shot. Doug Lidster getting a piece of it.
Craven moves up on the left wing. The long pass is there. So was Bozek, but the offside whistle blew. So the Canadians trying to do what the Soviets do best. We're going to take a short pause here. We have more live action coming up in a moment. Join us then. Welcome back to the third period here as we take a look at the replay. While we were away, Fleury took a good hit from Mironov right on the blue. Play allowed to continue. The score is 4-3. The Soviets are in the lead. Natras, the long shot, takes a deflection, and that just didn't want to come down. So we'll have another face-off. This is the Group A World Ice Hockey Championships coming to you live from Turku in Finland. And the teams play each other once in the tournament, and then the top four go forward to play each other again in the medal round. And there's the score, 4-3. The Soviets grabbing that goal just a moment ago from Zhamnov. Bit of a giveaway by the Canadian defense. I'm sure they'll be discussing that later on. Ronning faces off with Semak, and Semak is told to get out of the circle. And the officials in this tournament, as we've seen in past tournaments, really being pedantic about where the guys stand and where the legs go and the stick goes. Nemchinov is allowed to go into the corner, and Natras eventually ties him up, and interference is going to be the call.
Both teams working hard on the forecheck and the back check as well. This time it cost the Canadians. See McCowan having a quick word with Vernon in the goal, but Browning, for all his hard work, is going to have to sit 2 minutes here for interference. But you can see the Soviets on the attack. Semak is clearly hooked out of the play. Interference is the call.
Roning picks up his third penalty of the tournament, and the Soviets put on the power play, which will be just one of their four lines that they throw out from time to time. Lidster, as we approach the 13-minute mark, gets that all the way down into Soviet territory. Nemchinov gets that forward, and the Soviets, with one too many passes, Craven gets a stick in there, and the Canadians will pick this up and go for a skate. Craven bangs that hard off the boards and gets it down the ice. Kravchuk will go into his own territory to pick it up. Smith out there with Craven. Lidster gets it as far as the blue. The Soviets now coming in. The drop pass back to Konstantinov. Right in on goal, the shot. Lidster deflected that. He's got in front of so many shots today. Thomas can't get onto that, and Bozek shadows. Konstantinov circles, gets it up on the boards, and the Soviets are having trouble here stringing the passes together. Konstantinov to Kazanov. Kamensky. New bodies out on the ice for the Soviets. Kamensky winds it off. Drops it back to Pavel Buре. Into the corner for Bykov. Bykov trying to backhand it around to Kamensky. McCowan takes him out of the play, but Fetisov tried to grab that at the blue and couldn't hold on to it. 6 minutes now in the game, and a chance for Fleury. Fleury chopping Gusarov, and he takes a punch from big number 5, and play is allowed to continue again. The Canadians now getting fresh legs out there. Sakic. This is his man, and the Soviets, Pavel Buре to the far side. Oh, they score! The Soviets have scored another one. Gusarov, the big defenseman, made it look so easy.
Well, it's a goal that took the crowd by surprise again. It looks like a harmless play. Buре moves the puck over. Just a quick wrist shot coming off the stick of Gusarov. Beats Vernon. There's Pavel Buре over the blue line, heads up all the time. Leaves it off Gusarov, but not even a good angle. Mike Vernon can't be happy with himself for letting that goal into the net. Gusarov picks up his first goal of the tournament. Vernon
as you said, Richard, cannot be happy with the way he's playing, and I'm surprised that Dave King has kept him in there. I said, well, he's out now. I'm afraid it's too late as Billington goes in. Craig Billington.
Craig Billington getting a chance to come into the game here. Not a good spot to have to come in the third period. Trying very quickly to get himself loosened up. 24-year-old goaltender from the New Jersey Devils. It's a Windsor, Ontario native.
Well, I'm sure Vernon will live to play another game, but I have a feeling that Dave King, when he looks at this again, will want to know why he didn't take him out earlier. Thomas pushing that forward to Yanni. Up on the wing to Larmer, dropping it back. Thomas takes a shot. That's wide of the target. Sakic was there waiting for the tip. Racine has his pass batted down. And the Canadians pull out of the zone to avoid the offside. Bykov to the far side to Gusarov. The return pass into the middle to Pavel Bure. Bure, his pass is deflected away, and he gets the return pass off a Yanni stick. Kravchuk takes his shot, and the save is right there for Billington. That'll bring him into the action. Bure gets it to the far side. Fetisov takes a shot to save. The rebound is there. And that is into the corner, and Billington is being dropped into the deep end. Bykov goes in after it. A good move there by Pavel Bure to lift the stick as he moves himself right out front. The shot is there. Racine taps it back to Billington. And Pavel Bure mixes it up with Yanni.
I like this kid, Pavel Bure. He's got a lot of guts, and he's got even more talent. He'll take anybody on and really goes for it. He never stops skating. The 20-year-old kid is all over the ice. If he's not scoring goals, he's creating opportunities for somebody else. He goes right through the Canadian team. He's going after everybody and anybody here. We said that Craig Billington had been dropped into it. Well, he certainly had his share of shots in the last 30 or 40 seconds.
You have to remember that this goaltender, Billington, has been sitting on the bench since the warm-up at the start of the game, and he hasn't touched the puck since then. He's allowed to stretch, of course, but no warm-up shots. Not an easy position for a goaltender to come in, but he's doing a great job as Courtnall brings it up on the left wing. Courtnall with running. Courtnall looking to hand that off to Linden, and that is tapped away. Conroy gets it in to Marьin. 4 minutes on the game. The Canadians trail by 2. Batted down nicely by Courtnall rather. Kravchuk. The Soviets with Zelepukin dropping it off to Zhamnov. He's been dangerous. Buczaev. Roning takes a slice of that and gets it far as Zelepukin. Conroy goes in after that and loose puck. Buczaev off the back of the net. Conroy again takes a swipe at it. This time it goes the other way, and Roning will get there first. He can't clear it out of the zone. Mironov is there to slow him down, and Conroy at the far side. The long shot handled nicely by Marьin, and the Soviets with a change of personnel out there bring it as far as the blue line to Makarov. Makarov looking to get it to Zhamnov, and that was too far for him. Natras will pick it up for Canada. Craven. They need a goal, and they need it now. The Canadians working around that goal. Push it into Smith, and the whistle blows, and they desperately need something magical.
You'll see the defense start really going forward for the Canadians now. McCown, Natras, Yanni, they'll all be moving up front as well. They'll have to take a chance defensively to try and push a goal or two back into this. Time is running out, and they desperately need 2 to draw.
Well, perhaps Fleury will give them inspiration when he steps back on the ice. But right now it's Canada on their own blue line, and McCown shoots it into Soviet territory. Another whistle blows as that is deflected high into the crowd, and Viktor Tikhonov will be happy with what his team has done here in the first and third periods. I'm sure he wasn't too impressed with the second period, but what the heck, when you're leading by 3-1 at the end of the first period, there is a tendency to relax and just slow down a bit.
Well, this game has been very even. If you go back through the game, it's been both teams having their spurts, and just a couple of silly mistakes by the Canadians are the only reason why they're down by 2 goals.
Konstantinov into Billington. Schlegel to McCown. The long pass. No one there to pick it up. Kazanov drops it out in front of his goal. And the Soviets coming back in numbers. Zhamnov to the far side. Lidster chasing with Kozlov, and he gets there first, picked up by Archibald. Archibald gives it to Craven. 2 minutes now on the clock. Craven is poke checked there by Kazanov. Archibald goes after it, still wants that puck. And we have a referee's arm in the air as Konstantinov is lying on the ice, and Craven is right on top of him, looking to punch holes in his head.
You can see Murray Craven yelling, "What, me?" He's pointing over at Konstantinov. Konstantinov took him into the boards, took Archibald out first, and Murray Craven came piling into it. There's Archibald going into the boards. Konstantinov had taken him out. Craven came in well high with the stick. No question about that.
Konstantinov really shook the plexi when he hit the Canadian into the boards. And Craven said, "Hey, you're not going to do that to one of my teammates." And it's cost him 2, and that'll probably cost him the game.
Well, there's a difference between "you're not going to take my teammate out" and "the way that I'm going to get you back." And Craven very foolishly went after Konstantinov after he had very cleanly hit Archibald.
Fetisov. The Soviets now with the man advantage as Fleury attempts to do it on his own here in the dying seconds of this game. Bozek stopped dead in his tracks. Lomackin to the far side. Less than a minute and a half on the clock. Fetисov pushes that to the far side. Semak wants it back on this side. Conroy shadows him, but Semak will go for a skate. He tries to pick up Nemchinov, and that doesn't come off, so they do it all over again. 1 minute now on the game. The Soviets lead by 2. Can the Canadians bring themselves back into this one? They have a man in the penalty box. Lomackin takes it right back to the blue. Lomackin is checked, and the break just didn't come as Fleury picks it up. Fleury has got Conroy. Fleury fakes the shot to the top of the circle. The weak shot into the far corner. Conroy hesitates a bit too long and gives it right up to Fetisov. 30 seconds now on the clock. Courtnall misses his man. Kamensky. The shot right on. Billington out nicely to cut down the angle and make the save.
Craig Billington, we've mentioned, has come in a tough spot, has done well, he's held his ground, he's come up with a few key saves. Soviets have applied a lot of pressure in the last few minutes. Here you can see Kamensky, who's got such a strong wrist shot, testing Billington, but to no avail. Kamensky having a little short discussion with the defenseman behind the goal. Nothing materialized of it. One key point is talking about depth of this Russian team. There was a day, Paul, when Fetisov would have played 45 or 50 minutes of a game. He's seen very limited action and has just picked his spots. The old leader, 32 years young, has just come out and done a good job when he's had to.
15 seconds now on the clock. The supporters clapping it down, and this one is all over but the shouting. A big hook there by number 22, Randall Smith, is going to cost him a couple of minutes. And this is a bit silly. The Soviets have won this one. There's no need for this. It's not going to win the Canadians any support or any friends at all. They really should just call it quits now and go to the penalty box and think about the next time they meet.
It's a very deliberate hook from Randall Smith, not taken too kindly by the Soviet player. There was a time when the Soviets would just skate away from things like this, Paul, but I respect the new Soviets. They'll stand up to anybody and they'll have a go.
Well, the Soviets can muscle with anyone, whether it's European or National Hockey League. Let's look at this again.
There's Smith. He's in a bad situation. He's over the top of Pavel Bure. Really puts the lasso and ropes him down.
No hesitation there from Mякеля. His arm went up right away. High sticking. Well, you couldn't have got it much higher. So he'll set for the rest of the game. Just a couple of seconds on the clock. This has been played in fairly good spirits throughout, and let's hope it remains that way. They've given Bure 2 minutes for roughing. He won't be pleased with that. He was just trying to put his head back on. There goes the buzzer to end the game. The final score, the Soviets have won it by 2, 5-3. Lomachin, Zhamnov, Kazanov, Zhamnov, and Gusarov all scored for the Soviets. And really, they did play well for 2 of the 3 periods.
It was a good game, enjoyed by all. The Soviets showing their strength, with the Canadians showing why they were undefeated coming into the game as well. Very even contest. There's going to be a great finish with these 2 teams in the medal round.
So the Soviets remain undefeated. The Canadians suffer their first defeat. And the score here in Turku, Finland is 5-3. Other results today, 4-2 over Switzerland for the USA, a good result for them. The Swedes narrowly beat the Czechs 2-1. The Finns hammered the West Germans 6-0.
We're well aware of that, as every time the Finns would score, it would be put on the board, and the crowd was really reacting here in Turku over that game going on in Helsinki.
So no surprises. The top 4 keep getting higher up the table. A lot of support here for the Canadian fans, and you can see their reaction. As we take a look now at the highlights from this game, the Soviets are playing from left to right. We're looking at the highlights now. The game is over, and the Soviets, with that first goal coming from Lomachin, a weird and wonderful deflection going over the goaltender, Michael Vernon. He wasn't happy with that, and that was the start of, well, just a terrible day for him.
Mike Vernon couldn't be blamed for this goal. Lomachin gets a wrist shot off. It hits 2 or 3 people on its way to the goal. Vernon had to go one way. The puck went the other way.
Schlegel is out front. Courtnall skates across. Everyone is there but the referee. And that takes a strange bounce. The Soviets, no let up in the pressure here, get another goal. This time, Vernon will think about what happened on that. Zhamnov, number 26, didn't look like a difficult shot, but he found the right place to put it at the right time.
You don't know if you don't shoot. The puck comes to him, he pushes it up with his skate to his stick and just lets a wrist shot go. It pays off for him. Of course, Makarov with the heads-up pass. Goal number 2.
The Canadians on the long shot there with Fleury way outside the zone. And where was the goalie going at the time? He brought the score back to 2-1. A good moment here for Canada.
Well, Alexei Marьin looking for a place to hide. He's got nowhere to run. He's stuck on the ice. Slap shot from Fleury. He's looking for Fleury to dump it in, and he doesn't. He goes right to the goal with it.
Marьin was praying that didn't really happen. Makarov helped set this one up. It went back to the blue line. Kazanov, number 7, let go a whistler from about 55 feet out. No mistake here.
Once again, Mr. Makarov, 24 on the assist. Kasatonov with a big shot from the blue line finds his opening.
In the second period, the Canadians started to take control. The fans slowly moved back to their seat, and they were in for a treat here with Larmer moving in, getting the pass from Lidster. He let go a blistering slap shot, and Marьin was beaten cleanly.
Well, lovely neutral ice play from the Canadians. Doug Lidster with a nice pass up to Steve Larmer, who puts it away.
That was all the scoring in the second period, so it was 3-2. The Soviets were leading with 2 men in the box now. In the third period, the Canadians came back strong. Yanni passing it around, and you can see the Soviets setting up that triangle. That takes a deflection. Fetisov is there. Roning was on the far side of the net, but Linden gets credit for the goal.
Good job, 5-on-3 situation. The Canadians moving the puck quickly. Linden's looking for Roning in front, as you said, Paul. The skipper Fetisov's in front of the goal. Can't get his skates out of the way. Nothing Marьin could do about this one.
The Canadians looking very sharp, with the Soviets having 2 men in the box, but the Soviets came back quickly. They really didn't waste any time. Watch Racine now, number 33. Racine loses concentration. Semak gets it over to big number 26, Zhamnov, and he picks up his second goal of the game.
'20-year-old Alexei Zhamnov well happy with himself as he picks up his second goal. Semak with the steal, Racine with the giveaway. No mistake is made here. Nice goal.
Again, we see Racine running into all sorts of trouble. And the Soviet Zhamnov making no mistake on the shot. Pavel Buре this time got it over. And again, we see what looked to be like a routine shot going between the pads there. Gusarov, big number 5, getting the pass over to make it 5-3.
Pavel Buре, heads up little player, moves the puck across. Gusarov beats Mike Vernon on the near side with a wrist shot.
The pad there and the post, and it squeezes right through. Again, Pavel Buре, heads up hockey.
Good shot from Gusarov. Not a great angle, but he finds the spot that he wants in the net.
This is how they stand. The Soviets up in first place, undefeated. The Canadians right behind them, and the Swedes are there too. Fourth position is up for grabs.
It's tight. The Finns and the U.S. with 5 points each after 5 games. It's going to be close for that 4th spot for the medal round. The Czechs, of course, with 4 points. Not looking good for them. The Swiss without a point, and the Germans are pointless.
So no surprises, and again we see the battle coming for the 4th and final medal position. That's where they go. The 4 top go up into the medal round to fight for gold, silver, and bronze. Well, we're going to take a short break now. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage. We're going to be back, though, so don't go away. We've got more highlights to come, so join us in a moment. Richard and I will be back. Don't go away.